Good afternoon and welcome back to Football League World TV. We hope everyone had a great weekend, whatever you were up to. As we always do on a Monday after an EFL weekend, we look at two winners and two losers. Marcus, joining me as he always does, will be selecting two teams that are winners and two teams that were losers from the weekend just gone. We are broadcasting live on Facebook, Twitter and YouTube, so get yourself in the comments. Who were you impressed with on the weekend just gone? And who were you not so impressed with? We'd love to get your thoughts. Marcus, how are you doing on this Monday afternoon?
Yeah, really well. Thanks, Sam. Always a pleasure to be on reviewing the EFL. Another breathless weekend. Plenty of red cards, plenty of controversy, even goal heights coming into the conversation. And, of course, some epic action to be focusing on as always.
Yeah, another enthralling weekend of EFL action. That's the sort of weekend we love to see. Please do get yourself in the comments, though. We really do want to get your thoughts. Right, let's start off with Marcus's first winner from the weekend just gone. Okay, Marcus, who impressed you in the EFL on the weekend?
So not the most spectacular victory for my first win of today's show, but one that I feel is really important for potentially the course of their season. That's Rotherham United picking up a 2-1 victory at home to Huddersfield Town Saturday, one of Saturday lunchtime's kickoffs in the Championship. The first win under Matt Taylor, I think, is quite a significant moment. Obviously, a loss at home to Wigan, coming in between managers, and then a draw with Millwall. But finally, sort of getting the 3 points over the line once again at the New York Stadium for the Millers. They've got the second best home record in the Championship so far, taken the second most points. Only Reading have more. And I felt like it was a really dominant performance against what could be what I'd probably expect to prove to be a direct rival battling relegation this season in Huddersfield Town. A really impressive defensive display. Richard Wood, hugely influential, even popping up with a crucial assist for Georgie Kelly's winner. Huddersfield sort of huffed and puffed in the first half. Sorba Thomas had his moments getting some balls into the box, but largely didn't cause many problems. It was a good bit of work off the training ground for Huddersfield's equaliser, Danny Ward finishing off. Nicely worked set piece routine, sort of a low cross coming in from Sorba Thomas. But apart from that, Huddersfield did not really create too much. It was a very professional job from Rotherham, particularly seeing out the game. I think those two goal scorers getting themselves on the score sheet to build some confidence. Connor Washington, just his second goal of the season, I believe, and Georgie Kelly coming off the bench to score what proved to be the winner. I think in the absence of a player as crucial to Rotherham as Chidozie Ogbene, it really was an impressive 3 points.
Yeah, massive 3 points for Matty Taylor and his Rotherham side. I thought quite interesting after the game. Matty Taylor stressed just how important victories at the New York Stadium are for the Millers. Like you say, their home form has been particularly impressive so far. Was brutally honest and sort of admitted that the results away from home are going to be hard to get. Points won't come all that frequently away from the New York Stadium. I mean, just how important is it that the Millers are strong at home? Because, you know, it can often be a foundation for a successful season, can't it?
Yeah, it feels hugely significant, especially with the way that they've started. At the moment, it probably feels like points totals in terms of staying up or being relegated will be much higher than last season. It doesn't seem to be sides that are quite as off the pace as some of the teams that we saw towards the bottom end last term. So, of course, yeah, that does put importance on your home form. It's a really interesting test of Matt Taylor, this as well, because it was, despite some sort of mid-table / bottom half competing in those areas of the table in League Two at times in his spell at Exeter, he wasn't really tested in the way that we're expecting Rotherham to be looking over their shoulders at times this season. So, yeah, really important 3 points and just keeping a nice little cushion. I think it's 5 points above the bottom three now, and keeping Huddersfield at bay was a really important result.
Yeah, a big goal for Connor Washington as well. Like you say, his second of the Championship season. That sort of injection of confidence you feel that he might need in front of goal. A lovely finish as well from the former Charlton man. Let us know your thoughts on Rotherham as Mark's first selection as his winner from the weekend. We'd love to get your thoughts, get them coming in, whether that be on Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. We've had one comment come in from our resident Yorkshireman. Alfie Burns, winner. Anyone at Bramall Lane? Chaos. Certainly was a mental game at Bramall Lane on the weekend. 6 goals and a handful of red cards as well. It was a crazy, crazy afternoon. Right, that's Marcus's first winner. Let's get Marcus's second winner next. Right, who is your second winner from the EFL weekend, Marcus?
Second winners, Lincoln City. 1-0 winners at Ipswich Town this weekend. Any team that gets the better of Ipswich, particularly at Portman Road, particularly keeping a clean sheet, is going to come close to getting into the winners section for me. It was a bit smash and grab, has to be said. I think 5 shots from Lincoln City to 31 for Ipswich Town, but only 5 of Ipswich's shots were on target. Actually, it was 3 shots in the whole game for the Imps. 2 coming from set pieces. Ben House getting the winner inside the first half. But they defended their box really well. Carl Rushworth continues to impress on loan from Brighton and Hove Albion in between the sticks for the Imps. And a really decent result for Mark Kennedy's side. I've been impressed with them at the start of this season. It was a big transition. They haven't probably got the calibre of loan players that they were able to attract under Michael Appleton this season. But there's a case to say that they look even better than they did, particularly last term under Appleton. And this win in a very congested League One table takes them to the cusp of the top half, where instead they would have been just looking over their shoulders, maybe 1 or 2 places above the bottom 4. So, no, a really impressive result. Back-to-back clean sheets now after a goalless draw against Charlton last weekend. So, yeah, it was smash and grab. Ipswich did have chances, but a huge one for confidence and belief to pick up 3 points from what is one of the toughest fixtures in the calendar.
Yeah, Ipswich's first home league defeat of the season. The Imps recorded an impressive 1-0 win on the weekend. Let us know your thoughts on the selection of Lincoln City as Marcus's second winner from the EFL weekend. A fair to say it was a shock result. Not many would have seen that one coming, given Kieran McKenna's side's impressive start to the campaign. There we go. Marcus has selected both of his winners from the weekend. Rotherham and Lincoln City are this week's selections. Please do get your comments coming in on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube. We want to hear who you were impressed with and who were you disappointed with on the weekend. Comment coming from Des Paul. Birmingham City going well. They certainly are. They picked up an impressive 2-0 win at the MKM Stadium yesterday, which is, it's been a good start for John Eustace and his side for sure. Right, let's move over then to the losers of the EFL weekend. Right, here is your first loser from the weekend, Marcus.
First up is Milton Keynes Dons. A really sobering afternoon as they go down 4-1 at home to Plymouth Argyle. How the tables have turned from that match at the back end and at the final game of last season. MK picking up a 5-0 win at Argyle, knocking them out of the playoffs and, finishing third and coming very close to sealing automatic promotion to the Championship. Argyle with 3 goals up inside 37 minutes in this one. And the goals, MK were the catalysts of their own downfall. Mistakes playing out from the back, a real glaring error from Jamie Cumming for the opener. And I think this is a match where MK are really starting to maybe even write off the season in terms of where they were looking to compete at the start of it. Very popular choice inside the top 6 once again, or at least inside the chasing pack for that, despite losing players in the summer. But now 4 points adrift and really struggling going forward, looking very toothless. Argyle are one of the better defensive sides in the division, but MK haven't really been able to impose themselves on games on a consistent basis. Bar the odd occasion, they've shown flashes, but nothing like the side that we saw last season. 4 points adrift after 13 games and making such errors playing out from the back, which is something that they've been doing for quite a long time now under Liam Manning, will be really, really worrying. Obviously, their form last season suggests that at some point they'll come good and they'll be okay. But it is definitely testing the patience of the people in charge, seeing performances like that. The scoreline probably did flatter Argyle just, but the way that they capitulated in the first half would have been a really worrying one for supporters to watch.
Yeah, 9 league defeats so far this season for MK Dons, the joint most in League One alongside Burton Albion. It's been a disastrous start, in all honesty, for Liam Manning and his side. Revered by many, Liam Manning, was linked with lots of top jobs over the course of the summer, lots of vacancies in the Championship. Liam Manning was very often on the shortlist to potentially take a job. What do you think this has done for his stock, Marcus? Because, he is an up-and-coming manager who has showed last season what he's all about, his qualities as a boss. But it's been a tough start for him this season. What's your sort of stance on Liam Manning at MK Dons? Do you think he's under serious pressure right now at Stadium MK?
It's a difficult one to read. MK, very calculated and consistent sort of club from upstairs. Even if they were to get rid of Liam Manning, I think his replacement would be a similar style appointment. That they're clear that this is the type of football that they want to be playing and the identity that they want to build at the club. So when that goes wrong, they've only got themselves to blame in a way. I do think they'll wait it out, give him more time, give him at least another month or so. But in terms of his stock and being linked with Championship jobs, the clock's probably ticking on that front. Unless he's able to haul them out of the bottom 4 very soon. Sort of parallels to draw between him and James Rowberry, how impressive he was at Newport County last season and the way they've started very poorly. I do expect Dons to stick by Manning for a bit longer. They do have some more kinder fixtures coming up, but if performances continue to be as concerning and particularly in front of goal, looking so toothless, then they might have to make a decision at some point. But for me, it's still maybe at least sort of 4 or 5 games off reaching that real crunch period where we come towards must-win games for deciding Manning's future or not.
Yeah, I mean, it was always going to be a big blow losing the defensive solidity of Harry Darling in the summer, moving on to Swansea, and of course Scott Twine. His goal contributions last season were fundamental, really, to the Dons' success last term. They lost him as he moved on to Burnley. So it's been a tough start for MK Dons. A really disappointing result for them on the weekend as they were down 4-1 at Stadium MK by top of the table, Plymouth Argyle. Right, let's look at Marcus's second loser next. Okay, who is your second loser, Marcus?
So AFC Wimbledon, second loser of today's show, a 1-0 defeat to Sutton United at home. A South London derby, newly relegated side, not really able to impose themselves at all against the Amber and Chocolates. Josh Davison will rue an early missed chance, a really good chance to give the Wombles the lead and sort of get the ball rolling and try and lift the supporters that haven't had too much to cheer about so far this season. But for me, it's a terrible second half performance that really points towards Wimbledon being in the losers section in today's show. They go in 1-0 down at half time in a South London derby. And in the second half, they do not muster a shot of any kind, whether it be a speculative effort that goes miles over the bar. I'm not quite sure where you can find an excuse for that. Johnny Jackson's on the EFL highlights show afterwards on Saturday evening, sort of shades of Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank on Super Sunday in the final days of his Burton Albion tenure. Just 3 wins for Wimbledon this season, coming against Gillingham, Crawley and Colchester United, all clubs that have been right down there. No signs in that performance that it's going to turn around anytime soon. I expected a transition season for Wimbledon. I think a top half finish would be a fair sort of campaign, the first one under Jackson. But if it does turn into a relegation battle, then he might not have a leg to stand on. It really was a worrying display against a Sutton side that have left a lot to be desired and haven't hit the standards that they did last season so far. So, a scruffy goal that they concede. There's potentially a foul in the build-up. They may feel aggrieved with that one. But in terms of that second half not being able to produce a shot when you're trying to come from behind in a derby game is really disappointing.
Yeah, I must admit, I felt a little bit sorry for Johnny Jackson having to go on the EFL highlights show and essentially analyse his team's defeat to local rival Sutton on the weekend. There we go. But Wimbledon, been a poor start for them really in League Two so far. Down in 17th position, only 12 points on the board, only 1 win in their last 6 games. What's going wrong, do you feel, for Wimbledon, Marcus? I mean, Johnny Jackson cited after the game the fact that they've had a few injuries. Alex Pearce has been out injured. Bags of experience there, sort of unavailable. So we saw Chris Gunter, though, start at the back. Bags of experience in him. What do you think it is with Wimbledon this season? They just haven't seemed to sort of formulate any sort of form of consistency, have they?
Yeah, it's a tough one to put your finger on, as it was last season, where I think maybe they were winless the last 26 games, something around then. It's no surprise to see a bit of a hangover there. I do wonder if the thinking from the club and the manager is completely aligned. Obviously, Wimbledon looking to introduce a lot of young players into the side last season and continue that process in their sort of long-term view this season. I'm not sure Johnny Jackson is the kind of manager that suits that too much. David Artell was out of work when they were making the appointment in the summer. Whether they're really seeing eye to eye off the pitch, I think is questionable. Also, I think you can question some of the players' motivation. Some individuals that have put in much better showings that we've even seen in the league above in recent seasons are not hitting close to those levels in League Two. As we've seen over the last few years, poor teams do stay up in League Two on a consistent basis, and I don't think Wimbledon are in that kind of bracket of teams that will be really fighting for their lives this season. But if they are towards that end and can't sort of push themselves up into mid-table or the top half soon, then there are going to be definite calls for Jackson to be removed from his duties. So it's hard to put your finger on it because it's been a very long time that Wimbledon have been on the slide now. Maybe they'll be looking for some potential inspiration in January to turn it around, because I'm not sure the squad is quite mixed in terms of how Jackson wants to play and how the club wants to approach their ventures now in the 4th tier.
Yeah, a tough start for AFC Wimbledon in League Two. They currently, as I said, meander down in 17th position in League Two. A disappointing 1-0 defeat to local rival Sutton on the weekend. Further heightens the scrutiny on Johnny Jackson in charge at Wimbledon. Right, well, that's Marcus's 2 losers there. MK Dons and AFC Wimbledon. A poor weekend for both of them. Let us know your thoughts in the comments on Marcus's selections. Right, well, that's it from 2 winners, 2 losers on this Monday afternoon. We've got a busy day on Football League World TV tomorrow. We've got 3 shows coming up for you over the course of Tuesday. We're going to be taking a look at Stephen Schumacher's Plymouth Argyle in the morning. They sit 4 points clear at the top of the League One table. It's been a stellar start for the Pilgrims. Later on in the day, we're going to be taking a look at Nathan Jones's Luton Town. They're really starting to find some rhythm now in the Championship. They sit a few points outside the top 6 right now. And then in the evening, we've got a fresh new programme for you. We're going to be taking a look at the Tuesday evening fixtures and a little bit of a new style score predictions show. So make sure to watch that and get involved in the comments. We want to get your score predictions for tomorrow night's EFL action. Marcus, thanks for joining me as ever on this 2 winners, 2 losers show here on Football League World TV. Just a reminder before we end the show, please do like Football League World TV, all the videos. If you can like it, it'd be great. If you could subscribe to the channel as well, it really does help us as a channel in general. Right, from myself and Marcus, we shall see you next time.